Hi there, this is Roach. I'm outside under a tree in a local park. I prefer to do the videos outside rather than at home. I actually prefer them more than being stuck indoors, and I think it's more interesting as an observer watching videos if there's a nicer background and stuff going on. However, stuff going on does mean there could be car noise and there's a firing range, even though we're in a town here a couple of miles away, and I can hear the bangs even if you can't. But if you hear explosions, that's what it is. Thank you. Right, I want to just say a few words about creating your own reality, because that's what we're moving into here, the 5D consciousness, as the Earth's vibration is speeding up. Now actually you've always created your own environment, your own reality. You're doing it this very moment. But, it's not really a but I'll use the word. I'll say that because the word but is often there and it almost discounts what's been said before. In this case, it's absolutely correct. What's said before. You've always created your own reality, but there's been a time lag, quite a big delay between what you think, say, want, hope, worry about, and the subsequent resultant outcome, energetic, as things play out outside. So you do this today, and if 3, 4, 5, 10 days later something else happens and it appears to be unrelated. But as things speed up, you do this, and within a few hours or a day that happens, and you start to recognize the relationship between the two. And that actually relates to good and bad. It said, as well as the good results speeding up, the effects of karma, which is the same thing actually, it's all the same energy, are speeded up as well. So everything speeds up, and the consequences of one's actions and one's state of mind comes back quicker. So I just wanted to say a few examples about this myself recently, just to make the point. It started with synchronicities. Although I've been working with the connection, the inner and outer, my entire life, in fact all my videos are about this, about if you're conscious when there's emotion, the emotion is unconscious energy, which becomes conscious as you hold it with your conscious attention, being aware of where you are and of what you're feeling. You hold that, and the emotion becomes conscious, and because it's the same energy creating the circumstances of your life, as within so without, it's the one and the same energy. As you dissolve the energy within, the physical situation changes as well. If there's a problem you're worried about, be conscious, hold the energy of the emotion, take any action required physically, but hold the energy dissolves, and the problem is resolved, in and out. That's been my life for 30 years, and what my books and all my videos are about. So it's always been there for me, this connection. But that's me doing something. I dissolve the emotion, and I resolve the problems outside. Anything I'm concerned about happening, I face it, hold the emotion, accept it, dissolve it, and the problem resolves itself. It's all about the emotion. But what's been happening now, it's on a much more subtle, much finer level than that. Not necessarily about problems, just synchronicities, I guess is the way of calling it. Last year, Sally and I got into books, reading a lot of books, and we spent quite a lot of time in coffee shops, sitting there, find a quiet corner and read for a few hours. It was very nice. And the first few times it happened, I would show Sally, look, that person over there just said 4 words, and look, I'm reading those exact 4 words right now. Wow! But very quickly that became old when it happened so often. Just smile when I'm reading. I'm just reading, and the same exact phrase, same exact words, someone nearby says it, or it's on the radio playing, or the television's on, and they say the words, or even I get a notification of an email or a message, text message, or something pops up on the top of the screen. If I was reading the screen at the time, reading a message, and another message would pop up with the exact words I was just reading. And it means nothing except to alert one to the connection, that everything is connected and relating at all times. So that's a general synchronicity. A few months ago, Sally was doing more online meetings for her work, and I had the idea, because in the little flat we're in at the moment, rather than having to make the background look nice, because she's on Zoom, whatever one it is, background look nice behind her, I got the idea of getting a nice backdrop and hanging it from a pole, hanging it behind her. So when she's online, the room, if it's not absolutely immaculate, it doesn't matter, it looks nice. So I got string, a piece of pipe, connected this thing, connected it to the window, looped it through, and the other end was to go over the door that was open, pinned open. I needed something to clip over the top of the door. I didn't know what I was looking for exactly. There were lots of possibilities, then I forgot about it, and a couple of days later, walking along the canal, we walked over this road bridge, and there in the gutter was a piece of metal which was connected to an old canvas strap that was off the back of a lorry that had gone over there. The strap obviously snapped, and there it's fallen in the gutter. I'm looking at this bit of metal, right angle in a loop, and I'm looking at it as I walk past, I paused, I thought that's interesting. Strange, straight away the knowledge, the connection was there, that would work. So I pick it up, and we walk every day, so it's not like I've been there for ages. It's metal anyway, it's clean, but it was clean, it was dry, it was in the heat a few weeks ago. And indeed, I picked it up, took it home, cut off the old bit of tape, the canvas strap, and it works perfectly. The other week, Sally and I, having been talking for months about eventually moving out to the countryside, and Sally's been looking at houses online for a few years now. We're looking after her elderly father at the moment. I say looking after, he's not living with us, but we're keeping an eye on everything. When the worst happened, we were planning to move out, and then suddenly Sally said the other week that she's not so sure, having been thinking about this so long, now started to realise didn't want hard work anymore. Maybe from the lockdown we've been more settled and relaxed and haven't been able to go anywhere. Where I normally create the videos is down in the south coast, on the lodge in the holiday park with a lake on the veranda, but we're going up and down every weekend to stay there 3 or 4 days. We haven't been able to, we've been staying in one place. And maybe that's part of it, but Sally decided, I felt, I don't want hard work. I don't want to be rushing around trying to move to the country where we don't know anything or anybody, trying to find a cottage suitable, a little house, do it up, which would be work, with a nice garden, which we have to get it to how we want to do it, and then maintain it. We wanted a dog, we were going to get a cat, we were going to dig a pond, all these ideas of country life. But it's all work. And suddenly felt, didn't want that anymore. It's hard work. And I said, well, we'll do whatever you want. I have no preferences. I'm just quite nice and comfortable. We'll do whatever's right. And a couple of days later, walking into town from her dad's, looking up at the tower blocks going up in where we live, new blocks of flats. And she said, I actually rather like the idea of being up high in a flat, sort of living in a busy area, but above it all, so you've got everything to hand when you come out, but go upstairs and you've got the nice view and you're away from it all. And I said, well, that suits me. I'm happy with that. Walked into town, did a bit of shopping, had a cup of coffee, come home. A few minutes later, she comes to me with her phone. I've seen this flat. And it was in a block which she's driven past. She was just curious as to what was available in the area where we live. It's a block of flats she's always liked, driving past, and the flat was perfect, absolutely perfect, and a lot of criteria we hadn't even expected, like down at the lodge. I'm saying all this only for an example. It might be interesting. If you don't want to know, the fact is synchronicities and life works together, you get the idea. But if you're interested, down at the lodge, we have a scooter down there, a little 125 scooter, and a 900cc motorbike in 2 sheds. And we always assumed we'd have to buy or rent a garage separately. And most flats don't have garages where we are, so you'd have to get in your car and drive to the garage you bought or rented somewhere else. Well, this block has garages on site, and yeah, share of freehold. The flat's gorgeous. It's got big windows. It's got a little balcony, and bigger than the flat we're in now, which is first floor low. It's a studio flat, very nice, but studio. But this is a bigger flat, 2 bedrooms. Anyway, we arranged to see it straight away. Saw it, put an offer in, bought the flat, going through straight away. So it's the only flat that she, having only spoken about it that morning, found it straight away online. Went to see it, loved it, buying it, going through quickly, it's all happening. The same flat, perfect, the one she's always wanted. In fact, there's another flat in the same block, on the same floor, for sale now, the same amount, and we don't like it at all. This is the only one that's right, and it's in the message I'm projecting here, suggesting, has been created. She, to me, everything is my own creation, because I'm consciousness, so it's mine. But she created the perfect flat for her. So, last example. So I'm up in the loft a couple of days later. Our flat is first floor with access to the roof space. Getting loads of stuff down from the loft to take to our garage to start to clear things out. And as I'm carrying one of the clothes bag, the zipped clothes bags from the loft, been there for 10 years, getting to the car and it splits wide open and the clothes falling out. I put them on the front seat and I'm driving to the garage along this long road, looking at the stuff on the seat, thinking, how the hell am I going to cover that up when I get to the garage? Sally will go mad if it gets all wet and dusty or spiders get into it. And I've got a mile up the road, there's nothing, I haven't got any bags with me. How can I cover it? And at that moment, 2 cars ahead of me, I see the car swerve. The one behind it swerves. And then as I get to it, there's this plastic sheeting, about 6 foot by 3 foot, green and black, blowing at the side of the road. I was like, wow, that would be perfect. I'm still driving at this point, shall I? And a few yards up, there was a roundabout. I thought, yeah, I've got to, life's given me this. So I drove around the roundabout, pulled up the side of the road and picked it up. And it was absolutely perfect. Now these are just a few quick examples. I don't want you to think the rest of the time it's random and you have no control. All the time, your consciousness, your vibration is creating and responsible for the circumstances of your life. Looks like it's going to rain soon. I have had a rain warning on my phone, so I'll hurry up. The point is, we are responsible for our environment, our life, what occurs and when. It's about being conscious, being aware, connected with the source. And if you have any emotion come up, don't worry about it. That's your opportunity to hold on to it. Hold that discomfort, hold the energy. Consciously be aware of what's happened around you, be aware of your feelings, what's disturbance, be aware of what you see, what you hear, everything, your body, feel that space. and hold it. Now the wind's picking up. And while you hold the energy of the emotion disturbance, you are dissolving it. You are dissolving it in that moment while you're holding it consciously, being aware of your physical body. You are dissolving that emotion. So if you feel any emotional disturbance, do not avoid it and do not think about the problem. Hold the energy of that. Because every moment you can hold the disturbance in your conscious mind, not the unconscious mind in the imagination, in your conscious mind, you are dissolving that emotional disturbance and you are resolving the problem which it's creating, which is responsible for, connected to outside of yourself. It's the same energy. Do not run away from emotional problems and do not dive into them. You hold it. Hold the disturbance, hold the emotion, and you dissolve that, and that will resolve the outside circumstances. That will resolve the problem outside you. Or it'll give you a solution of what you can do to solve it yourself. Or you'll realise it was never a problem anyway. It was some fear about something which didn't matter. But it would be resolved if you hold it consciously. But do watch out for synchronicities, they're quite fun. And do watch out for life giving you solutions to problems quite quickly, even when it wasn't a problem, even when there was no necessary emotional disturbance. Just watch that. It's fantastic to see the connection. And this is what happens as one raises their vibration, raises the level of consciousness. The whole thing lifts up and your environment becomes literally a working in partnership, in and out. One being, one consciousness, experiencing, expressing itself every moment. Thank you.